AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
I said Knicks, you know what that means.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.
Jalen Brunson's the best player in the Eastern Conference. That's where we're going with this?
You know, and I'm not going to even say by default. You know, normally, no Halliburton, no Tatum. I think Brunson has a legit opportunity to be a top 3 in the MVP race, especially, now this is where Tatum and Halliburton effect comes in, being hurt, being injured, because now if we have the record, 60 wins, that plays a major part in guys being in that MVP conversation. So for me, I think Brunson is the best player in the Eastern Conference. I'm tired of, I get Giannis, his numbers is out of this world, but let's be realistic. They haven't done anything in the playoff the last couple seasons. For me, what Brunson has done the couple seasons ago with everybody being injured, like I said, you follow that up with the Eastern Conference Finals, and now I think this season he takes another leap. Especially like I said, if we got the in the bracket the wins, if we can win 60 games, I don't see why Brunson isn't the best player in the Eastern Conference. Him and Cat, I just hope, they don't hold each other back. But if Brunson can average 25, 26, 8, 9 assists, shoot efficiently, and win 60 games, I'm going to be honest, Brunson is the best player in the Eastern Conference. And I feel that way even if Tatum and Halliburton was there. I've been consistent about this. I really think Jalen Brunson is the best player in the Eastern Conference right now. Embiid is injured. Seems like he'd never get right. The only person we have to worry about is Big Carroll in Orlando. He's up and coming. But besides that, you still have Donovan Mitchell. But at this point, I think the Knicks is going to do something very special. I think Brunson is really going to up everything. And I think this season he's really going to be at least top 5 in MVP race, in the MVP votings. So at this point for me, starting of the season, I think Brunson is the best player in the Eastern Conference.
So I'm gonna answer that question like this, because I want to have some back and forth dialogue with my OG. I didn't get to talk to him yesterday. We dived in on Labalco. He didn't get a chance to talk about Labalco. He missed that. I know he was pissed off at missing that, but I want to have a quick conversation with my OG. He's been talking to us a lot about make the move, go get the guy, right? Don't be scared. Bust your gun. You back the shit out, bust. Pause if necessary. If we have the opportunity to go get Giannis and Brunson is a part of the deal, do you do it?
No.
So then okay. Hell no?
Hell no. Now, if we're talking straight up, that's something to think about. But if we're talking Brunson being in the trade with someone else, hell no. Because we have an MVP candidate type player, just like Giannis is. We have a guy that gets us to the playoffs, that gets us to the Eastern Conference Finals, like Milwaukee has with Giannis. Hell no, I'm not doing that. Now, if we're talking straight up, you got to have the conversation. I still would be skeptical of doing it, but you have to have the conversation because just of who Giannis is, you can't turn your nose up to who Giannis is.
Right.
But if we're talking about Cat and Brunson or OG and Brunson, no, hell no.
I just wanted to start the conversation there because I wanted to see how serious you was about if Brunson is the best player in the Eastern Conference. Because if he is the best player in the Eastern Conference, then no, you don't do that deal. I think you're nuts. Like, I think you're insane, right? But that's me. I think Giannis is still
insane about what?
Insane about Jalen Brunson stopping any kind of potential deal for Giannis Antetokounmpo. For me, Brunson, nobody on the New York Knicks roster is going to stop a deal for Giannis. That's where I stand with that. If we had the opportunity to get him, there's not a guy on our roster that I'm gonna be like, I don't know if I'm not talking about gutting the roster. I'm not talking about a Brunson Cat OG deal. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying though is, ain't nobody that they can call that they call right now and says, yo, the deal starts with Cat, the deal starts with Brunson, or the deal starts with OG. There's nobody on the team right now that I'm hanging the phone up if they say the deal starts there. Not one person on this Knicks team, if we're talking about Giannis. And so that's why I'm trying to say that Giannis, to me, is the best player in the Eastern Conference. And I think it's by a mile right now. Do I love our point guard? I think he's amazing. We are not where we are without Brunson. But just in terms of just greatness and who's the better, who's going to affect winning on a night in, night out basis, I think Giannis still has it. It don't look good over the last few years that they haven't been able to get back to the championship. I mean, to the finals, or win a championship, or even make a deep playoff run. I get that. So there's cause to pause. I think when you jumped off, I said it. There's definitely cause to pause and things that you got to look at Giannis and say, yo, what's up, nigga? What's been going on the last 4 years? But if we talking about like just the best player, I still think it's Giannis. And then let's not even talk about when everybody's healthy. Jalen Brunson might be 5 or 6 when everybody's healthy. Am I bugging?
Well,
if Embiid is healthy, Tatum healthy, I got Brunson over Halliburton. I think that's not even a question for me. But everybody healthy, Brunson might be 4, 5, or 6. He ain't top 3.
Well, I mean, we all have a right to our opinions, and to me,
Sure.
even if he's 4, 5, 6. Being at that height, being very limited defensively, not athletic, I think that's a great thing for a guy like that to be top 10 in the NBA as far as one of the best to ever do it.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm going to be honest, Brunson affects the game just as much as Giannis on the offensive end. We've seen what Brunson is capable of doing offensively. He's nothing short of spectacular. And when he's on, he's unstoppable. We know the numbers. We ain't got to sit up here and preach about it. But for me, I think if there is a talk for Giannis, I think if the conversation starts with Brunson, then you hang the phone up. It's almost like with the Philadelphia 76ers. Allen Iverson, the effect he had on that city, on that team, that is what Brunson is doing. If you're calling to make a trade and they ask for that guy, no, we're not doing that. I think Brunson has proven it for the last couple seasons. The David and Goliath. You have all the Goliaths in the East. You have Embiid, you have Tatum, you have Giannis. These guys are 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot. You have Halliburton at a height advantage. And Brunson, every year, just seems to be right in the mix with those guys. Putting up the numbers just like them, affecting the game on the offensive end just like them. And now he's having the Knicks to where we're talking about championship contention, Eastern Conference Finals, clutch player of the year, in MVP race, All NBA, starting at the All-Star. So for me, I'm being honest. I think Brunson at this point is untouchable and best player in the East. I get what you're saying, Flea, but for me, it's some new blood out there, and I think Brunson is the guy. Embiid had his time. Giannis had his time. I think now you have guys like Donovan Mitchell, Halliburton, and I think Brunson. I think right now those are the guys that's going to be the best in the East. I think these other guys, they ship has sailed as far as being the best in the Eastern Conference. Brunson is the guy.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.